they've done all that, I think it's just you got to come to a point in your life where that's it. Game over. You don't want to play anymore.
You cannot drug-proof your children. It doesn't work that way. By watching them day and night and putting curfews on them and censoring what they read and what they watch on TV, none of that will stop them. Private girls' schools, public schools, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I feel guilty. I feel really guilty that, I screwed up not only my life, but also my children's lives.
My daughter's pushing 14 and so much like me, it scares me.
We're nurses, doctors, lawyers, interviewers, reporters, cameramen. We're everywhere, and we're not all locked up in here either.
I say this to a lot of kids because, I spend a lot of time with teenagers with my work and what I do now. I just say to them, look, everything that you're hassled about at school, everything that you think is wrong with you at school are actually the things that are going to make you successful when you're an adult. Being different, going against the norm. If people are doing drugs and you don't want to, say no. I wish I had said no.
And actually wore it as a bit of a badge of honour that I didn't get sucked into it. I was sort of always a little bit out of step with a few people around the place. But yeah, it was there and it was real. And
I mean, in my experience, I've never found a situation that you can work really well unless you're as sharp and as clear as you possibly can be. Drugs is not the answer at all.
Your parents would die if they knew that you were doing this. I mean, even grog, even cigarettes can give you that kind of adrenaline rush. But something as bad as their first dope. And then, of course, there's the inevitable party when somebody says, would you like to try something? Then it's eckies and they're high all night and they feel great. And then, unfortunately, there's the progression and we start getting into tough stuff, and that's when it gets tough. But I don't think we're going to stop kids experimenting, but if we could keep it in the open, like grog, like cigarettes, they're drugs, they're drugs of addiction, but they're in the open.
Experimenting with drugs is certainly exciting, and I don't think you're going to stop people doing it entirely, but people have to understand that at the most they should only dabble in the lightest way, because if it starts to take over, it starts to take over your motivations, it starts to take over as your main hobby, and then life can get very dull. And when life gets dull, people get depressed and they start taking more drugs, and there's a terrible cycle.